States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let the minutes show that all members are present except for Ms. Campbell, who is out of town with our church doing a mission trip. And she did not attend our work session either because of that. Okay, first up on the agenda, we need to review and approve the council minutes from our last meeting. If no corrections, do I have a motion to accept the minutes as read?
Somebody.
I have a motion by Mr. Davis. You have a second? I have a second by Ms. Holland. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carries. Next up on the agenda is approval of our agenda for tonight's meeting. If we don't have any changes, do I have a motion to approve the minutes as read? Or our minutes as posted? Yeah, our agenda as posted, I'm sorry. We have a motion by Ms. Mosley. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Davis. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any abstention? The motion carries. Committee reports, we had a work session upstairs to go with tonight's agenda, and that's the only committee reports that we had this time. So next up is Class 20 restaurant retail liquor license application for Baumhauer's of Troy. This should be one of the last steps that we have to get this done. We have a representative from Baumhauer's like to come up and give us an update. State your name, of course, Spencer, we all know you, but go ahead anyway.
You'll do it right. Just to give a quick update on name Spencer Baumhauer. Obviously work with, below mile Baumhauer River, so just a quick update. Obviously we're really close to being finished up. All the exterior work is completed. There's a few little cleanup items within the restaurant. All 75 to 80 of the big screen TVs still got to go up, and then our wall wrap, which will be a big part of the decor package in there. All the equipment's in, and we just actually started the hiring process this week, so we're looking for some good folks to come join the team to help us swing those wings in a couple weeks. Ms. Wanda, we'll need that help. So, but anyways, we're really excited, and God willing, the plan being to hopefully be open by the second or third week of August. So that's kind of a cool status. So really appreciate it all.
Any questions, especially? This type of license is a on-premise all-day license, especially on the city of Troy Travel and selling alcohol to minors. You will be checked periodically by the city for the ABC. I know at all your other locations, y'all do a great job of monitoring that. We know you will do that here.
Yes, sir.
Do we have a motion to approve this license? Motion by Ms. Moser. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Holland. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any abstention? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Good luck. Thank you. 3 weeks.
Good to see you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Have a good one. Spencer, take it down. I will.
Okay, next up on the agenda is Resolution 2023-64, Professional Services Agreement with Skyham LLC. This is with the Utility Department. Mayor, I think we're going to handle this.
Yeah, I won't go into as much detail down here as I did upstairs. As I told y'all upstairs, as y'all know, we're part of the American Public Power Association. The American Public Power Association has a grant through the Department of Energy to help protect vital electric infrastructure. And that's what Skyham does. So they will provide a ballot and I gave y'all kind of a round number upstairs, but it's $264,000. So this will be worth to the dollar for us. It will be any cost for us. And it will allow us to, Weston Brown, our IT director, has been involved in this with Brian Chandler, get all this going and done. And this will be an excellent opportunity for us to protect our vital infrastructure, through our SCADA systems and other things for no charge.
Any questions to the mayor for this? The mayor, I know this, of course, this comes with your approval. Anytime we do something like this without cost is great. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 64? Resolution 2023-64. Motion by Ms. Holly, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Davis, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition, any extension, motion carries. Thank you, sir. Next up is resolution 2023-65, a memorandum of understanding from Cal Ripken Senior Foundation. Mr. Smith, Mr. Stevens.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I asked Chief Stevens to join me as he is a board member of the Troy Miracle League. And the Miracle League field originally opened in 2011, and the surfacing is in dire need of replacement. And through our operations in recent months, we have received some significant assistance from Troy University's Leanne Harriman and Dr. Barton at Troy University, and they have come across a funding/grant opportunity for the Cal Ripken Foundation. And the Cal Ripken Foundation, hopefully, if everything goes as expected, will be able to fund a significant portion of the resurfacing of the Miracle League field. And I would like to call on Chief Stevens, again, as a board member, to fill in some of the extra details at this time.
Thank you, man. Yeah, this, as a board, we've already started fundraising. We've started sending out letters. We've got a golf tournament planned in October. With the anticipation that Cal Ripken will fund some or all of this, either the money raised by donations or fundraising done by the board will go right back into the league to help fund uniforms, equipment, whatever they need for the facility also. This memorandum of understanding, we've been working on it for a couple of months now, and Shannon and some of the attorneys, it's just a big undertaking. A lot of time and effort goes into it, and I really appreciate that the council taking this under consideration.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions for either one of the two? We have a motion to approve resolution 2023-65. A motion by Ms. Mosley, do you have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Davis. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any extension? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Next up is resolution 2023-66, authorizing the purchase of equipment for public safety. I think there's a couple items in here that the chief wants to talk about.
You have before you a couple of quotes to purchase. The first one is from CDWG for computers and card readers to go into these new codes that we purchased. The total for those, and that's 11 computers, 11 card readers, and 9 antennas for automatic download of the cameras, which is what I got to talk about. The total for that purchase from CDWG is $33,938.47. And that purchase, every little source of contract, government contract. The other quote that you have is from ISO, which is for the purchase of body cameras and in-car cameras to go in 9 of these units. The total for that purchase is $92,294.62.
Any questions for the chief?
See, when we do this, will we have additional, you foresee us purchasing anything additional going to the vehicle, or is this it right here? Somewhere, or you might.
I think this should wind it up, unless something comes up, we don't, have to solve it. But this should finish this up.
Any other questions for the chief? If not, we have a we have a motion for resolution 2023-66. Got a motion by Ms. Mosley, do we have a second? Have a second by Ms. Hall. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Any extension? Motion carries. Thank you, chief. Next up is ordinance 446, amending the city of Troy personnel policy and procedures. This will constitute our first reading, and we will take up this matter in 2 weeks. And next up is appointments, and I think Mr. Davis has an appointment that he would like to present to us.
We have the opportunity to appoint or submit names, 3 names for the Pike County Equalization Board, and this is the property tax division, if you will, where they review property tax estimations and then respond to questions and issues that might occur. We have to submit 3 names for this. These are potential appointment. I believe the appointments will be made by the governor. So one of these, I think, might be appointed. But I would like to nominate Mrs. Deb Stale, Mr. Corey Russin, and Mr. Kenneth Felton as nominees from the city of Troy to the Pike County Equalization, potential Pike County Equalization Board.
Thank you, sir. We have a motion by Mr. Davis. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Ms. Hall. All in favor, say aye. Any opposition? Any extension? Motion carries. Thank you. We have no other appointments, so next up is the mayor's comments.
I'll just let you know that we'll begin next week, starting to talk about the budget with the department heads. Try to get that, Shannon and I meet later this week. We'll begin the first couple of weeks in August of working with the department heads. We'll be looking to get with y'all later in the month of August, get to talk about certain things, maybe schedule individual meetings with each of their items that y'all would like to discuss related to qualities, different things like that, and then hopefully get you a draft of the budget, the first meeting in September, so we can pass it the last meeting in September. That's October 1, because just to let you know that process will begin on Thursday. Everybody will work hard. Unless there are specific questions, that's all.
Do anybody have any questions for the mayor?
Would you like to mention the possibility of the public hearing that will be held by the Department of Transportation?
Yeah, I forgot, I was going to do that, and you weren't, but we talked about that, yes. It's August the 1st, South Alabama Electric Cooperative from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock. This area of the DOT has got a project that they're going to work on US Highway 231. It is basically trying to work on, these are safety funds to try to limit the number of accidents and correct what I guess people would call the suicide rate out there. So it's a lot involved, and it's important that the public knows and has input. So we do want to make sure that everybody is aware. I think the messengers run some things on it, but just August 1st, 5 to 7 p.m., South Alabama Electric Co-op, and the folks with the local DOT office will be available. There's also a website. If you look up and down 231, I'm sure you've seen some signs, probably seen some advertisements in the paper. There's plenty of room for public comment and discussion. So thank you, Mr. Madison. I forgot to really mention that. That's my fault. So please take a look at that, and we'll try to get something out on the city's Facebook account related to that. Just a little information.
Any other questions for the mayor? If not, is the council member comments? Ms. Hall?
I just want to thank the rec department, Mr. Dan and Chief Barr. On the 16th of July, we hosted an event down at Washington Park. People met us at Washington Park, and it was a great turnout. I just want to thank you all for helping make certain that everything was functioning properly. That I was amazed that with the police department, the rotation that they had. I think I saw every officer on that shift that day come through there and engage the children and the parents and the guardians that were out there along the way, and trying to ensure that it was safe along that roadway as well. And a special thanks to Mr. Willie McGuire, who stepped out a little bit extra on our behalf, ensuring that things were running well at that pool also. So I thank you all, and it was a great time for all that attended. And Mayor, I thank you for supporting us and keeping that establishment up as well.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Davis?
The only thing, just echo what the mayor said, for citizens that have an interest and for businesses along 231, August 1st, 5 to 7 at South Alabama Electric Cooperative Auditorium. Please attend if you have an interest in that.
Yeah, and this is one thing I didn't mention, Mr. Max, is this project is going to run from the 167-87 231 South Columbus Street intersection, which, for lack of a better word, is Burke, all the way south to get to the Economic Development Corporation. So everything is going to be done in that facility. So if you have an interest in a business, or obviously that's one of the busiest areas of the community. When they begin to work on this, they are going to, most of this work will be done tonight, most of it will be done Sunday night to Friday morning. And it'll be the beginning of a multi-step process to try to grow here. After this part of the project is done, we'll expect to see some upgrades at some of the signals, and then with the long-term expectation that we'll do some lanes through the community. So they will be working with the signal situation to try to make all this work, but they can answer those questions a lot better than I can. And they are going to get us some talking point information to get out if needed, but there's no better way to find out than to interact with them directly online and go out and look at the maps on August 1st. One other thing I meant to mention when we did the liquor license, but the final had a meeting this week looks like the final hurdles have been cleared for Home 2 Suites to begin their construction. So expect them to get underway within the next week or two. And they've got everything moving forward. I think they're working on just a couple of things this week. They're ready to get started. So they're excited about that. Actually, we were able to work something out where there's more of that final lot that will end up being left for development. So we will have one remaining lot that will be about an acre. Looks like within the next year, all three of those locations will be up. It'll take them about a year to build that.
And on that note, good times bowling alley, they're coming up with rain. Anything else, Mr. Davis? Okay. Ms. Butler?
I would like to thank the Environmental Service. You know, there's a lot of people that walk early in the morning and in the afternoons, and I just want to thank you, man, for allowing that department to have an ear to try to curb some of the accidents with people that walk in the streets. Because they're gonna, you know, I've noticed that we've completed sidewalks on Madison Street, and so I like that. I think that's going to be helpful, especially when cars come over that hill, and there's some of us walking in the streets, and not as fast as other people that can get out. And I appreciate it. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah.
That it, Ms. Butler? Okay. I'd like to remind the citizens of District 2, this is our last week of our special cleanup. Next month is Mr. Davis's cleanup, so he can get all his constituents ready also. And Mr. Tubb, you hiding back there, but I want to let you know that you made a bunch of people happy when that request I made. They were all over neighborhood Facebook singing your praise. So thank you again. And with that, we'll have a motion for adjournment.